Welcome to this video tutorial on creating a game with Slick2D. Whether you're a seasoned programmer or just starting out, this guide will walk you through the process of building a simple yet engaging 2D game. Before we dive into the code, let's briefly discuss what Slick2D is. Slick2D is a Java library used for creating 2D games. It's built on top of the lightweight Java game library, LWJGL, which provides OpenGL bindings for Java. Make sure you have Java and the Slick2D library set up in your development environment. You can download Slick2D from its GitHub repository, https://github.com/kevglass/slick2d. Also, ensure that your IDE supports Java. Our game will feature a player character that can move around the screen and collect items. Let's begin by setting up our project structure. Create a new Java project and organize your files into the following structure. In the src folder, create the following packages: game, entities, and assets. This will help keep our code organized. Now let's create the main class for our game. This will set up the game window and handle the main game loop. Create a new Java file named main.java in the game package. In the main method, we create an instance of the game using AppGameContainer and set the display mode. This will initialize our game window with a width of 800 pixels and a height of 600 pixels. Next, let's implement the init method. This is where we'll load our assets such as images and sounds. Add the following code to load an image for our player. Make sure you have the image named player.png in the assets folder. You can download a simple player image from free game asset websites. Next, let's implement the player movement. We will create a new class named Player in the Entities package. This class will manage the player's position and movement. In this class, we initialize the player's position and manage its movement based on user input. The update method checks for key presses for movement in all 4 directions. Now, we need to create an instance of our player class in the main class and update and render it in the game loop. Let's modify our main class as follows. Now we can run our game, and you should see the player image on the screen and be able to move it using the arrow keys. Next, let's add collectibles to our game. We will create another class named Collectible in the Entities package. This will represent items that the player can collect. This class initializes the collectible's image and position. Now we'll modify the main class to include a list of collectibles that will be displayed in the game. Make sure to add the image collectible.png to your assets folder. Next, we need to render the collectibles in our game loop. As we run the game again, you should now see the collectible item on the screen alongside the player character. However, we still need to add collision detection so we can collect these items. The easiest way to check for collisions is by using bounding boxes. Let's update our player class for collision detection with collectibles. We've added a bounding box to the player for collision detection. When a collision is detected, we remove the collectible from the list. Now, let's run the game again. You should now be able to collect the collectible items by moving over them. When collected, they should disappear from the screen. To make our game more interesting, we should add a scoring system. We'll create a simple integer score variable in the main class to keep track of how many collectibles the player has gathered. Next, we'll modify our check collision method to increment the score each time an item is collected. After updating the score, we also need to display it on the screen within the render method. We can use the graphics class methods to achieve this. Now, when you run the game, the score should be displayed in the top left corner, and it will increase as you collect items. As you progress, feel free to add new features. For instance, you could implement a timer, spawn new collectibles, or add game over conditions. Now let's summarize what we've learned in this tutorial. We started with setting up Slick2D, created a player character, added movement, collectibles, collision detection, and a scoring system. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you've enjoyed this content, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more programming tutorials. Share your ideas for future tutorials in the comments below.